Good evening, Facebook, friends, family, colleagues, coworkers. Happy to see you this evening. I am coming to you live with a very special look inspired by the Senior Director, Christina Hernandez. And she has been such an inspiration to me. I think she's just an incredible leader to her team. She's unapologetic about who she is and her personality, and she gives all the glory to God for her success, and she's also just really fun to look at. So last night I was watching one of her videos, or yesterday afternoon I guess, one of her live segments, and I noticed for probably the third or fourth time that she kind of has this signature look where she does this blue eyeshadow, and then she's, you know, got just a crease color and a regular brow color, but then she does the bottom with kind of a, I hope I'm not gonna disappoint her if I say this wrong, but it looks just like maybe brown or a golden color, and that's just something that has never crossed my mind, to do blue on the top and then kind of a brown smudgy look underneath. And so I got really inspired when I was checking her out on Facebook Live, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try this. So I had to try it yesterday to make sure that I could pull it off, and I really liked it. So thank you, Christina, for the encouragement and for the inspiration. So I'm gonna get started. I'm going to use a sponge tonight to put on my foundation, and I have repeatedly told many of you that you really should use a brush to do this, and you should. If you have really any texture to your skin at all, a brush is going to be much friendlier. This is what I would call an extra large foundation application that we're going to do tonight. It's a pretty solid layer. I'm going to be getting rid of all of the color in my skin. And so I'm using this because it's going to lay it on pretty thick, and because my skin, because I've been using Limelight by Alcone's all natural skincare, is like smooth. I have a lot of discoloration still. That's going to take a little longer to get rid of, although it's happening. But because my skin is so smooth, I'm able to use a sponge without any issue. So if you can imagine, the sponge has very little texture. This has lots of texture, and it's gonna poke down into all the little areas. So if you've got really smooth skin, a sponge is great. All right. This is Shinto 2 and Ivory, kind of mixed. I do a little dab into one and then a dab into the other. With a sponge, you need to pay close attention to the nostril area. Make sure that you're getting in there and not leaving little pockets of pink skin. Chin is still kind of pink. And take some color out of the lips. And you can see quite a big difference between my forehead and my face. Here's a little secret I'll tell y'all. One of my philosophies about foundation is that it doesn't really have to match your skin. As a matter of fact, if it totally matched your skin, it wouldn't be doing you any favors, would it? I think foundation should be a slightly better color than your skin, and one that is cohesive with the rest of your body. But if you were to stand naked in front of a mirror, your face would not be the same color as your neck. Your neck would not be the same color as your arms. Your legs are totally, I mean, everything has its own amount of color that it gets from the sun, from driving in a car, from being shaded forever. You know, this area is always going to be lighter. So matching your face to your collarbone, a lot of makeup artists do that. It's just not my thing. I would rather see a really good beige color, even on a really pink undertoned skin, than to see something that kind of matches the rest of the body. So you want to pick a color that you like and that kind of works with the rest of you. You don't want to look decapitated but by the time you highlight, if you're doing your makeup correctly, by the time you highlight and do bronzer and all of these other things, there's so many different curves to your face that are reflecting light that it's not going to make any difference anyway. You want to be in the ballpark, but don't get too hung up on perfection in the color. Okay, so you can still see a little bit of my skin poking through. I'm going to do one more pass. It doesn't look like I'm going to achieve plastic perfection tonight, but that's okay. Not really have anywhere to go after this. Anywho, I'm practicing for Vegas. Jim and I are going to Vegas with Erin and her husband Josh because it's his birthday, and we have not been out of the county of Bandera in way too long together, so we are way overdue. We're not huge gamblers, but we are really going to enjoy just being away from the farm. My dad is going to be watching our kids, so prayers would be appreciated, because when I got home today, I didn't quite get home in time for the kids when they get off the bus. And I got home and it was raining, and I got out to get the gate. My dad comes running up. He's like, "Hey, I got it. Don't worry about it." "Okay, Daddy." And then I peek around and I realize that my girls are out in the pouring rain. There's a wheelbarrow full of muddy water and a Solo cup and the gymnastics mat in the yard, and they are slipping and sliding all over the place. They are soaked from head to toe. It's not really cold here, still blazing flipping hot as a matter of fact. But they were having a blast. So they're probably going to have lots of fun, but supervision is not going to be really high on my dad's priority list. All right, so we have highlighted. I'm going to do one more pass just to show you that this concealer is magical, and the more layers you do, the better it gets. Please practice until you find what just way too much is, and then you just back off a little bit, and that's perfection. Okay, patting with a little bit of a pull motion. Whatever's left over on my finger, go down the bridge of my nose, chin, forehead. All right, pretty well highlighted. Oh, let me do my eyelids with the same. It's this waterproof concealer is also a primer, and we're really gonna need a primer to get this bold look that we're doing tonight. So if you have never seen my other videos, the one where I talked about the flamingo razor, still in love with that thing. Thank you, Erin. And I need to get some more of them, because I'm realizing that they lose their edge pretty quickly, and I've pretty much razored our horses, my dad, my 6-year-old's legs, and my husband's whole face, and I gave my dad a haircut with it. So I'm running out of edge. Hi Erica. Hi Sarah. Hi Karen. Hi Sandy. All right. So now I've got a nice primer. Don't forget this area right in here. It's a little bit tacky. We don't want it slippery, but we just want it to be a little bit tacky. And now I'm going to do a contour with our number 6 concealer. It's very dark and very scary for pale-faced people like me. Do not be afraid. This foundation and these concealers are all made to work beautifully together. And nothing is set until you put powder on it. So I'm just gonna keep going over it. The friction is high and the pressure is low, so I'm not pushing hard, but I am moving fast. This may take a little bit of practice before you get to the point where you can kind of figure out how to move your wrist and your hand without making jerky kind of all over movements. So don't feel like you can't ever get there. It just takes a little bit of practice, just like anything else. All right, down the sides of the nose. Stay off the plane of the face. Do not worry about whatever crappy shape ends up on there from the brush. You're going to blend it in. Under the chin. I like to do this little area right here. I'm going to just use my finger. It's a little easier. Get it on there and then blend it in. Makes your lip look a little powderier without being pouty. All right, now we got some shape. Back, no more moon face. Clean off the brush. And we can set this with our perfect setting powder. This is the white one here. It's the only setting powder we have. We call it perfect because it's perfect. It's going to take everything from being mobile and blendable to being waterproof, sweat-proof, cry-proof. These are the products that people have been using on movie sets and theater sets and model shoots for literally years and years, decades. And Limelight has kind of pulled all of those agreed upon amazing products together in a package for normal people, where you wouldn't normally have access to these products. So I'm going to take the bronzer now and just go over the places where I contoured. This bronzer has a little bit of sheen to it, so it's going to give me a little bit of playful light bouncing off my face, really kind of make you look alive. And then the blush, a little too high on that blush right there. And so I'll take my sponge that has a little bit of product left in it. Go back over that. You can still see it a little bit, but the focus is the eyes. Don't get hung up on little details, because you would never make it anywhere if you got hung up on the little details all the time. Okay, so I do not have a blue eyeshadow that Limelight makes. It's very sad, and I really hope to become an important part of Limelight so that they will listen to me. If you guys want to write a letter and tell them that they should, you can send it to, no, I'm just kidding. I'm going to use my precision brush. This is a tight little eyeliner brush used for smudging, and it also is very effective at putting heavily pigmented products in one space without them kind of splashing all over the place. So we're going to cover the entire lid. We're going to go past the crease. You can see the crease right here. We're going to go past it a little bit and make kind of a U shape right here with solid blue. We want the blue to look on our face the same way that it looks in the pot. And it's not really a pot. This is this one right here. This is a palette. Okay. So you're gonna lay it on in small sections. This is called packing. You lay it on in small sections. Uh-oh, battery's going low. I hope I make it through this. Babe, if you're watching, can you come in here and hook me up with a charger? All right. Back and forth to the product. Do not try to sweep it all on at once. Then you're going to get some version of blue that I'm sure Christina would never approve of. For any of you that are thinking about joining Limelight or doing direct sales, let me just tell you a little bit about Christina. I hope that I'm going to get this right. She is a senior director and has been for the last 2 months. She was with another company before this, so she had a little bit of experience, just to be fair. But she does not go out and do parties and craft shows and things like that. That's just not her thing. She is a YouTuber, and all, well, 98% I think of her team has come from people that watch her on YouTube. And she does not talk about Limelight near as much as I do. I mean, I push it. I'm a salesperson. That's kind of my thing. But she doesn't. She talks about whatever she wants. And she invests in people, and she builds relationships with people. And she has become incredibly successful. So if you're thinking, I cannot do this whole silly party thing, whatever, not required. I live in Bandera, Texas, y'all. There's no one to invite to a party. No one. So I had to find a different format. All right. Hi, Christy. Hi, Abby. If I get the finishing powder, is it all three? No, you can buy the finishing powder by itself. It's $20. It's called Perfect Press Powder, I think. However, you get a better deal if you buy what's called a blush trio. I believe it's $54. And the blush, it might be $60. I can't quite recall. My wholesale pricing is different from retail, so it's difficult for me to remember two prices for everything. Anyway, if you get the 3-pack, basically, you can pick what you want in it. You can pick the pressed powder, the bronzer, or you can pick all 3 blushes. Tell me what you're kind of looking for and I can help you pick. But if you just need pressed powder, you can buy it singly. Okay, so back to this. So this one looks a little sketchy. Like, we've got some dark spots and then some lighter spots. It really needs to be packed in and consistent in color all over. Doing the lid part is pretty easy. You can see I've got some loose skin here, so it takes a little bit of finesse to kind of work the brush in between that loose skin. Don't let the loose skin decide where your brush is gonna go. You kind of manage it, even if you have to pull, you know, make your skin taut, whatever it takes for you to get it on there. Take your time. This is where the magic happens. All right, now that we've gotten to the crease, going above the crease is a little trickier. When you get to the outside, you want to start at the farthest point that you want to go, which is only to this last lash, or a little, maybe a little beyond, and come in. If you keep sweeping out, you're going to end up with a tail. All right, now we're getting to the crease, and to go above that, it's always a little trickier to do the second one. I'm going to take what I have on here and try to blend it up, and then I'll go back in and pack it on once I kind of determine that my shapes are even. Not quite there yet. That's why I highly recommend doing your makeup at night like this, when it really doesn't make any difference at all, so that you can practice and make mistakes without being frustrated. Well, you may still be frustrated, but at least you're not going anywhere. Nobody's waiting on you. I think that's pretty even. What do y'all think? Maybe a tad more. Let's go back in and make this the same shade of blue that the lid is. Christy, yes, please come to the surface soon. Football maniac. Okay, I think we're pretty good here. Her eyes are, Christina's eyes are really round, and mine are a little bit longer, and so to kind of get that round shape that she has, I'm building it up in the middle here, where a lot of times you'll see tutorials and things where it kind of stretches out and you're kind of going for that cat eye look. She doesn't. She kind of works on a round eye, which is very different from what I typically do. So I'm loving the inspiration to try things that normally I wouldn't try. All right, so that's there. Blow to try to get all of the little makeup poop off. Take a clean brush and brush off. I got a little spot there. Okay, now we're gonna do the crease color. And I wish I knew exactly which crease color she uses, but I don't. So I'm just gonna use this kind of terracotta color. I think it's number 36. And I'm gonna go, now we're not on the crease anymore. So my comfort zone is to stick this brush right in the crease and just go back and forth and back and forth. That doesn't work with this look. So now I'm on the brow bone, and I'm halfway on the blue and halfway on where there's no product. And I'm gonna keep adding. Heavier on the outside than the inside. And I'm just gonna copy the shape of the blue and make this a transition color. I'm just rolling it back and forth. I'm not even picking up the brush. There's one point of contact and then roll. Okay, I'm going to come all the way into here and connect with the brow bone. There we go. Now we've got a nice transition. You can't really tell where it stops and where it starts. Clean off the brush because there might be a little bit of that blue color in there. We don't want to transfer that to the other side. All right. Start half on the blue and half where there is no product. And that didn't really do much. I need a little bit more product. It's easier to add on though than it is to take off, so take it easy. Connect to the brow with the leftovers. You don't need to take brand new product here and stick it right there. Okay, it looks like I smeared a little blue into the corner. That's okay, nothing we can't fix. All right. And now the brow bone. So we're just kind of going in layers. The blue, then the terracotta color. And now my favorite is this shell color, number 41. It's a nice matte, brightening color that works on just about every skin tone. And that's going to give your brows an evenness that you didn't even know you needed. I swear, you could just keep layering it on and it gets better and better and better. Okay, so that's pretty much the whole upper lid area. The bottom, we're going to take that same terracotta color and mix it with a little bit of a darker brown. And I'm going to go underneath. Now I'm using a liner brush. Color in that whole think she might actually leave her waterline blank, or maybe even use a white pencil. And I'm going to bring it down quite a bit more than I normally do. This should scare you a little bit. You should be like, I look like a raccoon. I promise, once everything comes together, you won't look like a raccoon. Maybe a squirrel, but not a raccoon. It helps if you stretch your face like this. And this will probably get in your eyes. It'll make them feel dry for like a second. And then it'll go away. And you'll be fine. Okay, now with no brows, no lips, it's pretty scary, but you have to stick with the program. You have to stick with the program. So I'm going to use that same brush. I'm going to clean it off a little bit. And we're going to do brows. I'm having my brows microbladed. Please don't tell me how dangerous you think it is. I'm going to a professional. And I'm going to do it because I'm reckless and crazy. But basically it's where they do like hair tattoos. So it's different than that kind of Sharpie look. And it's for people with really pale brows like mine, or people who are missing brows, or cancer patients who have lost their brows, or people like my mom who put Nair on their brows and they never grew back. Love you, Mom. We're going together in January, so I'll be in the Fort Worth area. Are there any people from Fort Worth watching right now? Anyone? Sarah, are you in Fort Worth? You're in Colleyville. I don't know where you are. All right. I have a little mole right there, so I like to go back and forth on it to make sure that it's colored this direction and this direction. But as y'all can probably see, I am not great with brows. Like that's never been my comfort zone. I mean, I'm probably better than some people, but I'm definitely no expert. And so having them done is going to be a huge deal for me. Plus mine are so pale that without makeup, I pretty much have to wear a hat to make it look like I even have eyes. Okay, so I'm going to turn this light down just a tiny bit. What's up? Now we're down. There you go. A little softer. Make sure that those are right. They're in the right place. And I'm pretty sure Christina wears lashes all the time, but I'm not putting lashes on tonight, and you can't make me. So most of you have heard me talk about how to do your lashes, and you watch me do it incorrectly every time. So today, I'm going to do it the right way. Sit back, rest on your pockets, take a deep breath. Hi, Heather Merchant. Hi, Ashley. Ashley, do you do your mascara like this, or do you still lean over the sink? She knows better because she's taken like every class I've ever taught. But that's okay. Sometimes you just don't have the patience to sit down and do it. But you know what'll give you the patience? Realizing how amazing your brows can be. That will give you the patience to create a little vanity area for yourself. Even if it's just a little box that you carry around with a mirror and your makeup in it, and you set it up in the living room or the dining room or wherever you have the best light coming at your face. And you sit down instead of leaning over the sink. Makes a big difference. All right, left hand, left eye. It's a must. You may notice that in this look, not putting any liner on. I can't say for sure whether our inspiration model does or not, but I don't think it's necessary. And I think for a lot of people, liner is so intimidating that it would probably be almost easier just to cover your whole lid with a dark shadow or a bold shadow than it would be to try to make a pretty line. It's the greatest mascara in the world, y'all. You should buy some for your mother-in-law, for your cousin, all those people that you're going to visit. If they have a face, they want this. Well, maybe not the men. Probably not, but it's hard to tell. Some might. All right, so you want to be a home wrecker when it comes to brows and separate any little families. No families, no chunks of lashes that are standing out any more than any others. And if you've got any little balls on the end that are drawing attention to themselves, just grab them with your fingers. All right. Now, I think what really pulls this whole look together is that she does this gorgeous blue shadow, and then she also unapologetically uses pink lipstick. I'm not sure if it's our pink lipstick. I think this is called Girls Night Pout, and it is awesome and it feels amazing, and the durability is really amazing. It's not one of our enduring lip colors, the kind of the lip stains that we have that stay on forever. But I did this last night, and I had to really scrub it off this morning because I didn't wash my face last night. Sorry. A nude liner is really all you'll ever need for any color, including red. A liner is going to create a waxy border. And this light color is also really forgiving, so push your boundaries a little bit. Go a little nuts on where you place the liner, because if you get it too far, you just push it off. It's going to help keep the lipstick on and in place. So I'm going to use it right out of the tube, which I almost never do, but then I'm going to perfect it with a brush. Look at those colors work together, that blue and that pink. It's like a birthday party on your face. Okay. And hi, Rebecca Dawson. I was watching you travel to some really cool places recently. Would love to hear about it sometime. All right, so now you can see all these little imperfections here. Sandy still uses nude liners like I taught her. She's a good girl. If you don't have the time to mess around with a lip brush and applying it kind of painfully slow with a lip brush, then just use it at the end to kind of perfect the little edges. But if you're over 30, you probably need to use a lip brush to smooth out those little areas. See all that makeup poop I have left over? A little bit of friction with my finger will sometimes remove it. Because we've set everything with that powder, I have a lot of redness in my face because it's like 1,000,000,000 degrees in here. Where is fall? All right, and I don't have awesome hair tonight, but Natalie is so good that even when my hair isn't awesome, it kind of is. Not because it grew like this out of my head, y'all. Okay, what am I missing? A little bit of number 6 blush. This is our Oprah blush, the one that Robert Jones talks about all the time, says works on everybody's face. It's this light one. Doesn't really have any color to it. It just adds a sheen. Okay, that's probably hard to tell. You can probably see a little bit of shine there, and if you're really observant, you can just kind of see the sort of veil that color or that sheen creates. So, did I have any questions? We didn't have a whole lot of people on tonight. 10 comments so far. Woohoo! Y'all are rocking it. I'm not in Fort Worth, but I need brow help. You know what? Go to Fort Worth. Wherever you are. I'm in San Antonio. I'm driving to Fort Worth. Go to the Brow Teeny Bar. I forgot the girl's name, but she's really cute, and like that matters. And I just saw a really, well, not a really good friend, but someone that I know well, got hers done there, and that was all I needed to see. It was, the transformation is amazing. It's very natural looking. It lasts like 1 to 3 years, but please don't spend all your money on that until you buy makeup. Okay. There you go. So, Christina Hernandez, look. Here we go. I should have put in earbuds. I did put on earrings because she says you never come to work, and this is work, without earrings on and your watch on, and I even put perfume on because she always does that too. So, again, thank you for the inspiration, Christina. Thanks for chatting with me earlier and yesterday. I hope that y'all are encouraged to try something a little bit bold and beautiful, and let me know how it works out for you. Talk to you later.